Hi, sports fans. This is Crow for SportsCrapology.com coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee, where it's 17 degrees right now. Dumped 4 inches of snow on us like Saturday, and the temperature hasn't got over 20, so a lot of it's melted. So I've been stuck here in my house. I'll be stuck in my house another few days with just coffee, cigarettes, and vodka. Of course, I decided to buy a low-profile car and move to Knoxville because it only snows a couple times in Knoxville a year. Yeah, but it snows 4 or 5 inches. If I had a 4-wheel drive, jacked up, stupid truck like some of these young ones out here, I'd be able to drive right out of my garage onto the street. But anyway, this is my personal problems. This is number 6 in the NFL head coaching carousel for 2026. You can see the other head coaching carousel videos at sportscrapology.com, at sportscrapology on YouTube, and Sports Crapology on X. So we're almost done with the NFL Coaching Carousel 2026. So we'll just review right now. We'll review the Giants, New York Gigantes fired Brian DeBoer middle of the season. They've hired John Harbaugh, the Ravens coach who got fired after 18 or 19 years. Brian Callahan, who was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, who never should have been hired. Those people need they need CT scans and whatever. They're morons. We go through all these moronic decisions these NFL executives made that make millions of dollars a year to do this. Okay, so Brian Callahan was fired in the middle of the season by the Titans, which he should have been. He's terrible. He shouldn't be able to coach anywhere except maybe a high school. He might be qualified to coach in high school. Okay, they replaced him with Robert Saleh, who's terrible too. He did a terrible job with the New York Jets when he was a head coach. And his defensive coordinator, he hasn't been such a good defensive coordinator lately. His defenses have kind of gone downhill. All right. So then the Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon, which they should have. He didn't do anything with the team in 3 or 4 years. They hired Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's younger brother. And we'll see how that goes. He learned with Sean McVay for a few years, so we'll see how he does. The Raiders hired Pete Carroll, which not really the Raiders, Tom Brady and some other, I don't know, Mark Davis, some other. So don't blame this on John Spytek. He did not have anything to do with this. He did not bring in Pete Carroll. So they fired him, which they should have. He's terrible. He was brought in to fix the Raiders, and he made them worse. So they do not have a head coach right now. They're the only team without it that hasn't hired a new head coach. If they get Clint Kubiak, and Spytek's a genius, because that's my number one head coach that I would have tried to hire is Clint Kubiak. Would have been him and Joe Brady. All right, so the Browns had Kevin Stefanski. He's an offensive guru supposedly. He did nothing with the offense in all the years he was there. He got fired, which he should have. They should fire the general manager. He's still there laughing, Barry. He's a terrible general manager. He does just stupid crap. Anyway, he needs to go. They hired Todd Monken, the former offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who worked with John Harbaugh for years. The Falcons fired Raheem Morris because he didn't win a Super Bowl in a couple of years, so they fired him. They hired Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach. What a moronic move. Who the hell would do this? Kevin Stefanski's another guy. He shouldn't. Maybe he could coach a high school team, but that's it. I mean, this is like completely moronic, but it's an Arthur Blank, team. Arthur Blank is one of the stupidest, most retarded owners in the history of sports. And he hired Matt Ryan as his president of football operations, and Matt Ryan lets him bring in Kevin Stefanski? Maybe Kevin Stefanski and Matt Ryan are buddies? I don't know what's going on here, but Stefanski should not be a head coach anywhere. Maybe high school. Like I'm saying, maybe high school. All right. Then the Baltimore Ravens, they fired John Harbaugh after 18, 19 years. They hired Jesse Mentor, defensive coordinator at LA Chargers, defensive coordinator Michigan when they won the national championship. I wouldn't want him as my head coach, but he might do a good job. I don't know. I'm on the fence about him. The Dolphins fired Mike McDaniel, who should never be a head coach ever in the NFL or again, probably not in college. I don't know, maybe not high school either. Should sit him in the corner, let him analyze some data, and feed it to the coordinators, and that's it. That's what he should be doing. He should be an analyst. He got fired from the Dolphins. They hired Jeff Hafley, who was the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. He has been a head coach at Boston College, and maybe another smaller college before that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But he's been a head coach, I think, maybe once or twice. Mike McDaniel is now the offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers, working with Jim Harbaugh. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin resigned from the Steelers, probably because they got too crazy. Emil Khan, or whatever his name is, general manager who knows nothing about football, can't run a football franchise, but Rooney II is letting him do it. Letting him make these terrible decisions. They hired Mike McCarthy, who should never be coaching a football team anywhere, not even high school. Oh yeah, let's hire Mike McCarthy. Look what he did for the Dallas Cowboys, how great he was. What are these people thinking? Pay me the $3 million or $5 million a year to be a general manager for an NFL team. I can make better decisions than this. I'll get other people to do the administrative work, and I'll just sit back and look at the big picture and make decisions. And I'll make a lot better decisions than these people. Anybody that hires Kevin Stefanski or Mike McCarthy, they're idiots. God. I'm sorry, Steeler fans. Like I said before, go with the Penguins. They're a pretty good team. Sidney Crosby's still playing. You can watch the Penguins because the Steelers are done. All right. Then the Bills fired Sean McDermott because apparently he told them the truth, how screwed up they are, the executives, and what they didn't know, and how, you have to have some wide receivers and some defense to win. And they didn't like that, of course, because they don't like the truth. No corporate America executives like the truth. So they fired McDermott, and they hired Joe Brady, who I really like as a head coach, Joe Brady. He might have a tough time here in Buffalo if they don't bring in personnel, because they didn't play defense last year, hardly at all. And, Josh Allen is Josh Allen, and he's real good, and you got James Cook, your running back, but you can't do that. The Bengals tried to do it. Where you have to score 42 points a game to win, or 35 at least. It doesn't work. You have to play defense. So anyway, the Bills hired Joe Brady, which he's a good guy, I think. So just to review. The Giants' new head coach, John Harbaugh. The Titans is Robert Saleh. So Harbaugh, good. Saleh, terrible. Mike LaFleur is the Cardinals' head coach. Don't know. Matt's pretty good. Mike will probably learn. He'll probably be okay after a couple of years. They got personnel issues in Arizona, though. Raiders haven't hired anybody. If they get Clint Kubiak, they're geniuses. Kevin Stefanski was fired from the Browns. Todd Monken is the head coach of the Browns. Kevin Stefanski never mind. Kevin Stefanski is the head coach of the Falcons. Jesse Mentor is the head coach of the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. Jeff Hafley is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Mike McCarthy is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Brady is the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. So the Raiders are the only team that don't have a head coach yet. The guys that are left out there that you could possibly hire, in my opinion, Cliff Kingsbury, I maybe would give him another shot at a head coaching job. Clint Kubiak would be my number one choice. Mike Kafka, the Giants interim head coach. You got John Gruden. He's probably not leaving Barstool Sports, but I like John Gruden a lot. Chucky. Marcus Freeman, you maybe could get him out of, if you could get him away from Notre Dame. Dan Pitcher, the Bengals offensive coordinator, the only smart thing the Bengals did is bring him in. He's done a good job with the offense. Their defense is terrible. And Ron Rivera is trying to get a head coach position again in the NFL. I wouldn't hire Ron Rivera or Pritchard. Marcus Freeman, I'd give a shot. John Gruden, definitely. Kafka, definitely. Clint Kubiak and Cliff Kingsbury, definitely. So, that's Crow for SportsCrapology.com, head coaching carousel, NFL 2026. This is number 6 in the series, I believe. See us on YouTube. See us on SportsCrapology.com. And see us on X, SportsCrapology X. Thank you for watching, and we'll see who the Raiders hire. Clint Kubiak. Raider fans, pray for Clint Kubiak. Thank you for watching. Bye.